Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now.
So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly?
We may finally have an explanation for how Diddy managed to get away with his alleged crimes. And it may be with the same tactics he used during his 1999 club trial, blood sacrifices.
We're in the park. I'm running where we going. And as we going towards the boathouse, I look in the distance and it's this man in all black. He's in all black. And he turns and it looked like he had the white collar. I couldn't be sure, I couldn't be positive, but it looked like he had the white collar because Puff said, yo, Gene, stay right here. And I stayed right there and he kept on walking. So when Puff gets directly to the dude, he gets down on his knees. When he gets down on his knees, this man takes something and it seemed like it had smoke in it, and he started doing it around Puff. And then he went back and forth. And then he went up and down with it, sideways with it, then back around him. And then he put it down. And then he put his hand on Puff's head, and I guess he started, saying something. I don't even really know what he said, but I couldn't tell what he said. You understand what I'm saying? Long story short, I see Puff reach into this case. And when he reached into this case, he came out and you could see something white in his hand. I didn't know it was a bird. I didn't know what it was at first. But he threw it up in the air. And when he threw it in the air, the came straight back down like it was a brick and said, bow on the concrete. And I was like, oh, that was a dove, that was a bird.
What's intriguing now is that many people will be looking over their shoulders now that Diddy is walking free, afraid that he will show up in their side mirrors for abandoning him. The first name that comes to mind in a situation like that is Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Puffy basically, or I keep saying Puffy, Diddy gets to get out, be with his family. They didn't really railroad him like they did R. Kelly.
Isn't it interesting how I've been saying that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Since 2022, I've been talking about acceptable monsters. Hand-selected, hand-picked. Tell me something. How does R. Kelly's music get snatched off the radio and Diddy's doesn't?
But why? Well, according to Jaguar Wright, the story runs deeper than anyone thinks. She believes Diddy and Jay-Z are standing at a crossroads, one that could completely reshape hip-hop as we know it. Beneath all the headlines and glitz, she says there's a quiet battle going on between loyalty and truth, between protecting your legacy and facing what's real.
Jaguar Wright told us that Jay-Z won't be able to stay silent about his connection to Diddy. And baby, she wasn't lying, because Jaguar Wright was just on Piers Morgan exposing the out of Jay-Z. Jaguar Wright was calling out Jay-Z for his silence, saying that now he's gonna have no choice but to talk because he has connections with Diddy, R. Kelly, Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein. She also said that she has victims that have video footage of these freak-offs and what they do to people, and she said that she saw what Jay-Z and Beyonce were allegedly doing to people. Jaguar Wright even said that Jay-Z is the one that allegedly set up R. Kelly because he knew everything that he was doing and he was doing the same shit. And she said that Jay-Z is the one that funded surviving R. Kelly because his best friend for years is Dream Hampton. And baby, she wasn't lying. Jay-Z and Dream Hampton have been friends for years.
It seems that the walls are closing in on Diddy in prison. And if he wants to stay alive, he'll have to bring other names down with him. And if that happens, Jay-Z might be on the list. In addition to this, Jaguar also thinks that the can of worms on Diddy's satanic sacrifices is yet to be opened and will be a bigger bombshell than any Diddy news from before.
It's one thing to write it all off as weird sex stuff. But it's another thing when you look at it for what, in my opinion, I believe it actually is.
And what is it?
Demonic, ritualistic behaviors, humiliation rituals. Offerings to the devil.
We were just talking about that. Revelation 17. The mystery of Babylon. I don't think people really want to get into that when they talk about mystery Babylon and the abominations and the rituals, the SEX rituals, the traffic to the, traffic jam.
I mean, we all know the saying that they have out here, right? They say that the music industry, the film industry, Hollywood and all that is the devil's playground. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. What about you? Leave it in the comment section. Let's talk about it, but let's also continue.
The selling of your body, all that stuff, mystery of Babylon, y'all.
Like, I want y'all to really think about what they were talking about. See, everybody was, the spreading of bodily fluids from one person to another, using one person as a receptacle, and then taking it from that person's body and then putting it and smearing it all over like these.
To understand how it got to this point, you have to remember when Jay-Z and Diddy ruled hip-hop like kings, they weren't just rappers. They were architects of culture. Jay-Z with Rock Nation, Diddy with Bad Boy, two empires that shaped music, fashion, and even the way artists saw success. Their parties were legendary, their loyalty unshakable. Back then, it felt like nothing could break that bond. But according to Wright, that loyalty was built on more than friendship. It was built on secrets, the kind that could destroy everything if they ever got out.
Diddy could have definitely been like an undercover CIA agent like Jeffrey Epstein. I watched that in a video or something. And it's possible that he came in the game young, because I heard that a story of Gene Deal saying that Diddy had to go meet with the feds. He don't know what it was about, and it was in his earlier part of his career. I wonder if he could have been working with him for all these years. Who knows? Let's talk about it in the comments, but we're gonna continue.
SEX magic, sure enough. Yeah, Jay-Z, yeah, he wears the Aleister Crowley t-shirt.
Wow. I got dragged.
He had a line of his own clothing. Like, I want you to think about this.
I got dragged for bringing that to people's attention. They were like, oh yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist because he said, like, no, that's what he wore. And he was with Abramovich. Like, yeah, y'all gotta, who you hang with is who you are.
I'm still trying to understand how people want to sit there and talk about me, and he's sitting there frontal lobe to frontal lobe with a known witch. And people don't question.
And the funny thing is
superstar world. Yeah.
The funny thing is when you talk about witches, and I'm still not gonna go in on this raccoon of a content creator who decided to, shout you out one minute and then try to drag you for going on a platform and saying, you said about witchcraft takes one to know one, and he just automatic, you a witch? So the thing is that's another smear campaign. Your credibility, and then they go after your
You
What
want to
is
know
it?
what's
I don't
funny?
want to say I don't want to say religiosity. What is it?
What is what?
No, I'm saying they go after your credibility.
Wright even suggested that Diddy could save himself by snitching.
Wright even suggested that Diddy could save himself by snitching, by exposing everything he knows.
Jaguar Wright tried telling us about Jay-Z and Diddy and nobody believed her. I remember her very first interview years ago saying how Diddy was a trafficker and everybody thought she was crazy and everybody ridiculed everything she had to say. Well, now does she seem crazy? What I love about Jaguar Wright is watching her time and time again get vindicated on things that she says. Like, it was so crazy back then that nobody wanted to believe it, but now that we are seeing things come to light, how crazy is it actually? I've always been the type that can't stand when people are called crazy because the things that they are saying are hard for a person to believe. This doesn't make a person crazy, and these people wouldn't be saying these things for no reason. We watch it happen time and time again with these situations, just like Cat Williams, just like Michael Jackson, just like Aaron Carter, and even Kanye. I really feel like in 2024, everybody has woken up and seen that all of these people saying this throughout the years, they're not crazy. They're not saying all of this for no reason, and it's something that I've known for years. Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now. She's even talked about Jay-Z's alleged relationships with younger people in the past, such as Aaliyah, such as Foxy Brown, such as Rihanna, and even Beyonce.
But what she really wants him to talk about is a woman named Kathy Corona White, a woman she claims was Jay-Z's mistress, who was reportedly pregnant with his child. Wright alleges that Kathy died just 24 hours after she said she was going to go public about their relationship.
Taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. For one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand's sake.
And that's where Wright's accusations get darker. She believes Diddy and Jay-Z both know exactly what happened to Kathy, and that Diddy could reveal it all if he chooses to cooperate with investigators. But will he? The alleged cracks in their friendship began to show years ago. People started noticing when Jay-Z skipped one of Diddy's major events, and Diddy returned the favor by missing Jay's. It was small things like that. But in a world where every move is analyzed, silence spoke louder than words. Their public smiles didn't match their private distance. Roger Bonds, Diddy's ex, head of security, had some very interesting insights to share about this in particular.
What was interesting was that Jay-Z's camp basically put out a statement saying that Jay and Puff are not friends and they're not close at all or whatever else. Did you see the two of them interact a lot?
I seen them interact, but I wouldn't say they was close. I believe Puff felt they was close.
Oh.
But if you was a person on the outside looking in, like me and Uncle Paulie used to always talk about it, me and D-Rock and stuff like, yo, why Puff kind of like sucking Jay off so much? You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be like, we done flew to 5 or 6, 7 different concerts that Jay-Z has. But Jay-Z is not at one of Puff's shows. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Rock brunch where Puff will break his neck to get to the brunch, but Jay-Z don't pop up at any of Puff parties. You know, now I can only speak up until 2012. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was breaking his neck. Like, at the end of the day, in our mind, we said, yo, he ain't even invite Puff to his wedding. When he married Beyonce, Steve Stout and all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was kind of in his feelings, but once again.
Oh, Puff was upset he didn't get invited to the wedding?
Of course he was.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, we're security, so we're bottom on a tote pole. So he's not going to show you that it really affects him until you have a little conversation with him, or you say something, or you overhear something. But he didn't get invited to that, you know. Yeah, Jay came through every once in a while. Like if we was in a yacht in San Tropez or one of these places like that, Jay might ride up. You know what I'm saying? And it's more or less to show, yeah, I got a yacht too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm out here too. More or less than we're tight friends. I look at it as two people that's getting money because they did have some businesses together, and we did have to go to some meetings together, and it was like, this is how far it goes, but we're not friends. You know what I'm saying? Like people ask me that all the time. I be like, Jay ain't really with Puff. It was no personal into it. It would be like if Ron Burgos is flying from LA on his jet, but Jay-Z just so happens to be going to New York too. We all end up on the jet, flying back, those type of things, but nothing to go out his way. If we in a club, you might be downtown at bed or something like that. Jay-Z might be there, so they end up at the same table, you know what I'm saying? And it was times where I listen to the records now where Jay-Z said, yo, why should I drink Ciroc when why should I drink Grey Goose when Puff got Ciroc? This is something new that just started happening because I remember we almost got into a big altercation with Pecos and them because...
With Sean Pecos?
Yeah, because Puff was there and Jay and them was there and they had a bunch of Grey Goose bottles come to the table. And Puff felt like, yo, that was disrespectful, and he knocked over the Grey Goose bottles, you know what I'm saying?
And Jaguar, right, hasn't stopped talking about Jay and Diddy all these years. She's made shocking comparisons, saying figures like Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, R. Kelly, and Diddy all had one thing in common, Jay-Z. She accused him of quietly moving behind the scenes, avoiding blame while others took the fall.
Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened.
And all of that is the reason Jaguar right believes that Diddy may eventually snitch on Jay-Z.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not gonna talk is crazy. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
Wright's words might sound extreme, but she says she's been warning people for years, claiming Jay-Z and Diddy have long controlled the industry through fear and manipulation.
You know, it's so funny because my videos are being heavily suppressed. You know, I gotta read you guys this. It's funny. It's like they really want to corral everywhere I go and who I talk to and what I say. Oh, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I don't have it in here. I sent myself the wrong one. No, that was a long. Oh, but then there is this. Oh, did you see this? Have you seen this? Yeah. Jaguar Wright, almost unalived by Diddy's hitman. Noah Jacob, TV. I shouted him out once before. I guess they paid you real good. You fake Christian piece of crap. Bearing false witness. You call yourself a Christian? Bearing false witness, you stupid little kid. Because if you think I'm not going to come after your platform, and if you think I'm not going to make sure that everybody goes to your platform and report you for the lies you told, with your AI evidence video that you put up.
Oh, damn.
Do you know what the video said? That number one, it said Diddy's hitman, but I thought Diddy and Jay-Z wasn't friends.
Whether you believe Jaguar Wright or not, her statements have reignited one of the most controversial discussions in hip-hop. How much truth is buried under fame, fortune, and silence? And she's not the only one who's raising big questions about Diddy and Jay. Oschino also explained that the wild part about Diddy's downfall is how fast everyone who once stood beside him started backing away, especially Jay-Z. He said people forget that Jay-Z and Diddy used to be looked at as equals, two moguls who came up from nothing and ran the game side by side. But once things started looking bad for Diddy, Jay wasted no time separating himself. Oschino said Jay didn't want his name anywhere near that chaos, like he saw what was coming before everyone else did.
Puff Daddy's still Puff Daddy. He's not going to be able to do none of the stuff he was doing before, though, as far as business-wise.
Look, Puff Daddy and Jay-Z were considered peers at one point. Now, Jay-Z and Diddy are not talked about in the same
Jay-Z got the fuck away from that shit fast. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z was like, yeah, I don't know him. I know, but not like that.
Yo, the niggas got like 80 pictures together, all type of parties.
I know, of course they know each other.
Hov said, listen, I don't know. Hov said, you know, Hov ain't going for Hov. Like, I don't know, boy. We was together a couple times. I don't know, boy. I don't got nothing to do with that. Like,
even though there are dozens of photos of them together at parties and industry events, Jay started acting like he barely knew him. Oschino pointed out that Jay made sure to keep it business, not friendship. When people brought Diddy up, Jay's response was basically, "We've crossed paths," but that's about it. In Oschino's eyes, it wasn't personal. It was business survival. Jay knew being tied to Diddy, especially now, could drag his name into something he didn't need. Unfortunately for Jay, his associations with known FBI informants have since also come into light, with people claiming he's protecting himself by providing incriminating evidence on Diddy.
Kanye West been kind of quiet lately, though.
Well,
as far as Kanye West concerned.
Here's the thing, right? Kanye, and I know some of the people around him, it's like Kanye can no longer do a lot of things he could do before.
Like what?
He can't tour in Europe. He can't tour in America. He has to go to like China, South Korea, like Brazil. There's only a few places in the world that'll book him. He can't even go into Australia. Like Australia said that the Hail Hitler song got him banned to even enter the country, even though his wife is Australian. He wasn't even trying to perform. They wouldn't even let him in the country. Listen, you start doing songs like Hail Hitler, you become a symbol of hatred to the world.
That's the worst. That's like one of the worst people you could ever try.
You know, I interviewed the dude that wrote that song, Dave Blunts. You know, the big...
Okay, what's that? Write this song?
Nah, well, he performed it though. I mean, it's still his song. But yeah, no, Dave Blunts wrote it. He also wrote the cousin song, the one about giving his cousin head. And I asked him, I'm like...
So who's this guy? Who's this guy that wrote the songs?
Dave Blunts. He's like the 600-pound rapper.
So basically, everyone in the industry already knows Perez's background. She cooperated with federal authorities years ago in a major case, and that's public record. For Oino, it was hard to understand how someone with that past could end up running Roc Nation, especially under a man who built his whole brand around street credibility. To many people, it stinks of Fed involvement. This is also backed up by claims from Gone Deal that the Diddy case actually goes a lot deeper and further than Diddy.
So I want to go back to the comments you made earlier about these tapes, and I want you to give more clarity. So you believe they only got Puffy because they wanted these tapes. But what do you think is on these tapes?
Bruh, you got to realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party. You got some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives. They used them for that. They used them enough, whereas that now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, what's that, Frantic? The clothing line, the sports line? They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now, I ain't talking about the freak-off party part of it, but I'm just saying, he was doing those parties, and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite. So it was those parties that everybody wanted to be at. So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody.
If this is true and more big names fall, that would also mean less competition for Jay-Z when it came to business, both for him and his wife. Many people think Jay-Z will be next to fall. Not the first time Jay-Z has thrown a friend under the bus to further his own interests. No, not in the near future. He is too welcomed. It took over a decade to collect enough evidence to go after Diddy. Jay will be an old man before they truly go after him. If Diddy gives him up, he is absolutely in trouble. Do you think this is all a power play for Have? Let us know in the comments below.